Then I have paralysis dreams. I wake up another time, can't breathe. I had the fear of death.
When you learn to listen, you will find that spirits are all around us, and they really do have something to say to you. Hello, I'm Patricia Davis, practicing witch and psychic medium. I'm here to take you on a journey to the other side. Today, we're going to talk about conjuring your deepest desires: love, power, and revenge. The three ingredients that you will need in spell casting is desire, intention with integrity. Let me tell you how important it is to set up your intention proper. I'm going to give you a story that happened to me when I first started doing witchcraft. Bon Jovi. Okay, the look, the style, I want that. I didn't ask for the heartfelt connection, the soulful purpose, clueless, but I just went with what I was seeing. Well, one day at work, in walks, long-haired, blonde, blue-eyed, tall, really good-looking man. Look at this. I think I'll have that. Wrong. Sweetest guy, but I didn't add in my love button. He somewhat fell more for me, I less for him. I was looking for the look. I hurt somebody, had to undo it, learned a very harsh lesson, and what a mess. Take a lesson from me. Don't do what I do, just do what I say. And now let's hear from some of our callers. Hello, my first-time caller. Can you tell me your name, please, and where you're calling from?
Hi, my name is Frankie. I'm calling from Philadelphia.
Frankie, do you believe in the supernatural?
I absolutely do believe in the supernatural.
Lay it on me.
I'm a practicing witch, and I've had several spells backfire in my day.
Can you tell me one that did a backflip on you?
I did a love strengthening spell for a high school sweetheart, and it did not go well.
What did you do to conjure first-time romance?
I used strands of my hair and strands of his hair.
Look at her go. Oh my.
I did ask for consent. The reason I did a love strengthening and not a typical love spell is because typical love spells can end in obsession, and I've heard many horror stories about that. I added some honey to a jar. I added rose petals, tied the strands of hair together, and kept the jar around for 6 months to a year. It worked for a little bit, worked for a couple months, and then by the time it started to run out, I started hating him, fully hating him. I broke up with him. He did not have a good response. He was very angry. I fully blame the love strengthening spell.
Now that's magic that might have needed a little tweak.
I mean, honestly.
Oh, she's got her hair going too. Love it.
Sorry.
Witches have a hair thing.
Leos have a hair thing too.
Oh, she's a Leo. Could talk to you till the midnight hour. I'm known as, for me, the witch and the wolf. My familiar is a wolf.
Your familiar's a wolf? My familiar's a tortoise.
And tell me what the tortoise means to you. Do you have an artifact of a tortoise?
Not yet. He very, very recently came to me. To me, it's protection, power, wisdom. It's something that helps me slow down.
I don't know why the wolf came to me, maybe because it has sharp teeth. But I just like the wolf's power, not just its loyalty. Anything supernatural?
I was babysitting a poltergeist.
Excuse me. Did I hear that right? You were babysitting a poltergeist?
My friend grew up as a medium, lived with demons, said, your deities want you to get more familiar with this kind of energy, so I'm going to send him to you. I said, what? You're sending me what?
Like a pet?
He was attached to an amulet. He lived here for a month or so. All the animals were acting differently. You can tell when something like that is there. They were not coming in my room. He would push things over. He would bother me.
That's a first. After you babysat, said, baby poltergeist, do you send it back to mommy, daddy? What do you do?
I sent him back.
You did?
For me, it was just a chance to become more familiar with what that kind of energy feels like.
Can I ask how you protect yourself, since you seem to be like a spirit magnet?
I have protective wards on my home, about 7 to 10.
If I feel something maybe malevolent, it's not welcome. If it's like a sad spirit and I pick up on that, then I'll lift it up and say, please, higher powers. It's yours to do with what you want. Frankie, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the Dead Don't Knock.
Thank you. Blessed be.
I'd like to welcome Dan Fogler to the show, an amazing actor, graphic writer, and filmmaker from Walking Dead, Fantastic Beasts.
Hi, Patricia. Great to be here.
Fantastic Beasts. What was it like living in a magical world?
What's funny is I've had very magical experiences in my real life. All sorts of experiences, spiritual experiences, synchronicities. I'm a huge believer of that. Every big level that I've taken in my life, in my career, my love life, stuff like that, I have always wished on a star around New Year's, and those things came to be.
What I love, Dan, is your own take on your magic, your conjuring.
I have a sense that you're taking the occult approach, right? There's a more pared down version of it, which is what I'm doing. Here's a meditation process, communing with nature, visualizing what I want to happen. And the universe understands those emotions and says, oh, that's interesting. Let's see how we can do this.
Do you believe in the supernatural? Say yes.
I've had too many tangible experiences not to.
Would you like to share?
I was in this hotel. It was a haunted hotel, and they told us when we got there, all through the night, someone is creaking, walking outside my door, and a full knock. Clack, clack, clack. Get up. I open the door. No one there. So I go back into the room. It's hot as hell in that room. I open up the window. I go to sleep, and then I have back-to-back paralysis dreams. Never had that in my life. I wake up another time. Can't fucking breathe. And I smell the distinct smell of sulfur. And then I start to really get nervous. I start to shake, and I throw up. Okay?
Really?
I had the fear of, death. I go back to sleep, wake up again, breathing like that, and see some dark shadow disappear out the window. And I'm just like, close window, no sleeping, lights on. Just sitting like this in my bed the rest of the fucking night.
For me to be speechless, that was crazy train. Any other stories you'd like to share?
There's one thing that happened to me when my grandmother died. I'm just sitting in this my favorite comfy chair. I'm just thinking about my grandmother. She used to make these mini pizzas from scratch. And I started smelling the pizza bagels, and then a moth landed on the wall, and I'm looking at it, and I'm getting chills now thinking about it. For some reason, I'm just drawn to this moth. I just start telepathically asking yes or no questions, because the moth is like a Ouija board arrow. Are you my grandmother? Up is yes, down is no. And the moth turns, yes, I'm your grandmother. Holy fuck, I'm getting chills. And then I start asking it questions that only she would know. The moth answered it perfectly.
Honestly,
down. Have you ever heard of a moth acting this way?
Not that way ever.
I got tears, and I go, I know I'll see you again. Yes. And then it flew away. There's still a part of me that's kind of skeptical.
Why?
Maybe because, maybe it was just coincidence.
Doesn't get any better for tangible. I do have my tarot cards here, Dan. You can ask me a question.
Would love to know what the new year is going to look like.
All right, good question, Dan.
Now I'm nervous.
Don't be afraid. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
I will get my little mini messages. Whoa, okay, we have a winner. You got the Wheel of Fortune. You got Destiny. The Destiny card, especially in my deck, which is the Crowley deck, to me is not like you just won the pot of gold, but you earned it. It looks like to me there's an opportunity, Dan. Maybe something comes to fruition and there's some kind of accolade or an award that comes your way.
I appreciate that.
Rock and roll. Dan, no, thank you so much for being on this show.
May you continue to have awesome interviews.
Thank you. Doing magic does not have any requirement. Before you want to conjure your desire, put your intention out there, you really need to start with the basics, something simplistic, trying to find your lost keys. Put that intention out there, you shift your energy, and then boom, you find your keys. You really must be in a great headspace. If you're a hot mess, your spell's going to be a hot mess. It is so important to be patient with yourself with magic and allow power to drift off and come to you in the way it should. Hello, caller. What is your name and what is your supernatural story you would have for me?
Hi, so my name is Alyssa. I'm calling from Austin, Texas. I have a really interesting one that has stuck with me for a long time because I really cannot explain what happened that day. I have personally been obsessed with the paranormal since I was a child. I actually am a medium and I'm working with a mentor currently. In high school, I was obsessed with Ouija boards, and I will say now I would not touch one after this experience. We set the scene as they do in all of the movies. We had our candles, we had our lights off, and mind you, we were the only people in my house. We asked the typical questions, is there anybody here with us? How did you die? Nothing was happening. So I said, you know what? Let's shut it down as we're about to close the session. There was an obvious change in the energy in the room. It felt dark. All of a sudden, this terrifying, the best way I can describe this sound is like a creaky, scratching sound starts from one corner of my bedroom, shoots across the wall to the other corner, all around the room, several times, really quickly. Scrambling all over my room, we're knocking candles over. There is a burn mark in the floor to this day. Get the lights on, and to this day, I've never experienced anything like that. What was that?
This is interesting. This is coming to me. Okay. And I'm picking up on more of a male energy. He seemed to, this one felt like to me, mean, mad, so aggressive. These energies are still out there. What you can do, and I highly suggest this, is a protective shield around you. That could be red brick dust, one of my faves, to keep away the baddies. You can just wing it with the cards. The card I pulled, my princess, I would look at that as like you. I already know, like for you being clairaudient, you have a gift of hearing something.
I'm actually working on hearing the full messages. That's why I started working with a mentor, because I've kind of turned myself off to it as a child, closed off my third eye.
You might be holding that back just a little bit. That's okay. When it's time to release, you will enjoy it. You may be more powerful than you realize. That's a good thing. Alyssa, thank you so much. That was outstanding.
Thank you so much for your insight. This has been incredible.
There are many ways to cast a spell. Tonight we're going to use the element of fire to banish, one of my preferred methods. The types of materials I'm going to use tonight, simple. Piece of paper. I like a black magic marker. And say I want to banish procrastination. I would write procrastination. I like to take big black X's 3 times so I know it's not going to come back to haunt me anytime soon. And just like that, I'm going to light it. Adios, bye-bye, procrastination. Into the cauldron it goes. Woo! So what we want to do, you don't want this hanging around. You don't want it sitting in your cauldron. You don't want it anywhere. Bring it to my kitchen sink, dump, hit garbage disposal, gone forever. Before we hang up our brooms, important tip, never do magic while angry. You do not want to put a hex on your boss or create havoc in your life. Good night, my little witches, and I will be seeing you next week for the Dead Don't Knock. Gillian and John, come play.
They built a set within a sort of abandoned warehouse, and that was the most, I think, unsettling place.
That was scary.